One of the first things the devil does is make you question God. Then Eve looks at the fruit, the scripture says in verse 6, and it looks good, and she eats it, and she gives some to her husband, and he eats it. Okay, notice this. Where is Adam? The scripture does not say that she is going and finding Adam. She does not call Adam on her cell phone. No, the way the scripture reads, Adam is right there watching the whole thing. And so Adam has to make a choice. Does he choose his wife and eat the fruit? Or does he choose God? And sadly, Adam chooses Eve over God. Verse 7, then the eyes of both of them were open and they died spiritually and they realized that they're naked. So they sewed fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves. Verse 8, Adam and Eve then hear God walking in the garden and they hide. We know the story. He calls out, hey, where are you? And Adam says, I heard you in the garden and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid. Okay, I need you to notice the next sentence. And then God says, who told you you were naked? What's God doing? God doesn't ask a question to get an answer. God asks a question to give an answer. He knows the answer. He's trying to get Adam to think. Who told you you were naked? He's saying, Adam, who planted that thought in your head? Where do we come up with all this negative self-talk? Where do you come up with all this negative stuff that goes on in your head that tells you you will never accomplish anything? God made it clear. It's the devil, Adam. That voice that you heard, that was not my voice. Because you see, I've known all along you were naked. In the same way, the devil will plant self-defeating thoughts in our heads. I'm talking about the mind. And it's our job not to believe those thoughts. God is never, ever going to tell you that you are a failure. Never. Or that you have sinned too much to be used. God is never going to tell you that. He will never, ever revoke the calling on your life because you fell short. How do I know that? I know that because in Romans 11 and 29 it says the gifts and calling of God are irrevocable. That's how I know that. Your calling, when God called you out, He knew you were going to make mistakes. But that didn't stop Him from calling you out. Your calling is permanent, and it is not determined by your mistakes. It's not determined by my mistakes. You've got to believe me when I tell you that God did not die to kick you to the curb. He died because He loved you.